The day was August 20th, 2013. 870 children waited in fear as their Atlanta elementary school rushed into lockdown mode. Yet another Sandy Hook tragedy would have a different ending because of the faith and courage of one woman. Antoinette Tuff, a bookkeeper, could identify with the pain and rejection that motivated the desperate actions of Michael Hill. By God's grace, she was able to empathize with a hurting young man and love him back from the brink. Here's some of what she shared with him.
It started in the abandonment with my dad, and then I was homeless for a while, so it actually started way before that. It also even started when my ex-husband, the man that I had been with for 33 years, I had been with him since I was 13 years old, had come to me and say to me that he was leaving me for another woman. So by the time the gunman came into the school, I was already in an overwhelming state myself, tried to commit suicide more than twice. So I already understood what he needed to me to be that day. God has another plan, and I know all of that was actually his plan for me to be late, because by the time I got there, the gunman was walking in the office the moment that I sat down. I hadn't even been seated in my seat for 5 minutes before he walked into the door with an AK-47 and over 500 rounds of ammunition, allowing me and a teacher that was there to know that we're all going to die today. I'm telling him about my story. I'm allowing him to know about my son, who is multiple disabled, and allow him to know that even with all of that, and even with my ex-husband leaving me, there's still a God that sit high and look low, and that he cares for all of us. And so I just wanted him to be able to know that in spite of it all, I was a normal person just like him, hurting just like he was, but in spite of it all, that we all can be able to go home today. My hero is Jesus Christ. And for me, I actually have a relationship with him. And so I would tell everybody that in spite of what you're going through, at the end of the day, know that God, if you give it to him, is going to make it all right.
We have a God who sits high and looks low, as Antoinette said. There is no place that is too low for him to go. The psalmist said, "I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence." Psalm 139, verse 7. Out of an horrific experience in a Nazi concentration camp that claimed the lives of 5 members of her family, Corrie ten Boom could say, "There is no pit so deep that God's love is not deeper still." Whatever obstacle, failure, or mess you may be facing, perhaps even of your own making, there is a God who loves you to distraction, and he's big enough to give you a fresh start. We've been providing living proof daily for 37 years on this program, and we are so grateful to the faithful who've made it possible to bring this good news to a world full of people who desperately need to know Jesus. Remember that if you're in that place of despair, our prayer partners are ready to empathize with you and believe with you for a new story, God's story.